You know that the truth is undeniable. Gossip spreads like wildfire in dry grass. Those who create it seek to bring you down. The objective is clear: destabilize, hurt, control. But reality is quite different from what it seems. The one who spreads lies, hides, manipulates, asserts, does not sustain, and you listen, doubt, react, reflect. Don't be fooled. This is not a game of chance. It's a pattern. You call it noise because facing the truth is uncomfortable. You call it injustice because accepting what is really happening requires action. Gossip persists because you allow it, not because it is true, but because you do not confront it. A liar does not need a valid reason. The listener always justifies. And today you try to understand the motivations behind distorted words that do not require understanding, just acceptance. When someone cares, they act. When someone respects, they defend. When someone has character, they do not hide in the shadows. What you have to recover is not just the truth, it's your position, your strength. Staying silent only strengthens the author of the gossip. You are not trapped in a cycle. You are choosing to remain in it. And staying is also a choice. The objective truth is this: nothing changes because the liar benefits from keeping everything as it is. The only thing that can turn the tables is you. You do not need more evidence. You do not need more time. You do not need another "this will pass." You need to decide if you will continue to accept the price that comes with these lies. There is no convenient ending here. There is only the moment when you stand up and confront. That moment does not appear on its own. It's easy to get lost in the web of rumors. The words echo, reverberate in a space where the clear definition of loyalty dissolves. You observe all this. The circle closes. Those you once considered friends have now turned into mere spectators, rooting for the outcome of a fight that isn't theirs. With every insinuation, every whisper, you perceive the distorted truth. The one who lies is not concerned with the impact. They only want control. The spotlight is on you as if a mirror reflected your deepest insecurities. It's a cruel game. It's a manipulation that not only affects you, but also those around you, creating divisions, raising invisible walls. You can feel the pressure, the expectation that you will react in a certain way. You are expected to yield, to prove your innocence, while the bonfire of distrust burns around you. And this pressure, it doesn't come only from the gossip monger, but also from those around, who feed the fire with fuel in the form of doubts and critical glances. It's a vicious cycle. Those who listen, those who question, those who hurry the response. The fact is that you allow this situation to persist. Why? Because the idea of confrontation is terrifying. The fear of rejection penetrates the fibers of your existence, makes you hesitate. Yes, you try to justify the inertia. Tell yourself it's worth waiting, that the truth will eventually come to light. But the reality is that waiting can be a trap. Time doesn't heal everything. It often only further weakens the bond of trust. Look around you. These are familiar faces, now carrying expressions of doubt. They're not just observing, they're deciding your story, writing chapters without your permission. Gossip is poisonous, but its side effects hit everyone. You, more than anyone, realize that in this plot the only constant is your inability to go beyond the silence. You have an innate power, the power to speak, to expose, to make it clear that lies will not find fertile ground in your world. This clarity is not just necessary, it is essential. Every unspoken word reinforces the chains that bind you to this toxic narrative. The role reversal needs to be confronted. What was meant to be a frank conversation has been reduced to murmurs whispered behind backs. When someone respects, they act. This principle should be your anchor. If you do not take a stand, whether with words or actions, you will gradually begin to lose what you consider important. Respect will empty out. And then what remains? A scenario where the truth becomes a shadow and you feel increasingly distant from it. There are limits that cannot be crossed. A thin line between passive acceptance and active defense. Every day that passes, you give permission for the lie to take center stage, and what was once a manageable situation can quickly transform into a theater of horrors where you are the only voiceless actor. What if you decide to break this cycle? Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Confront those who uphold this farce. Imagine the scene, an act of courage that is not just about words, it's about being ready to face the consequences. No one said it would be easy, but true weakness lies in accepting inaction. You may be labeled as the instigator, the rebel, the one who demystifies, Yet do not be mistaken, these labels are just attempts to silence you. An attempt to maintain appearances, to preserve the structure that sustains the lie. You can choose to be an agent of change. Do not allow yourself to be defined by others. Reality is harsh. The emotional game can be dangerous, and you can never be sure how you will be received. But once you decide to act, the strength you exude can dismantle even the most solid foundations of misinformation and manipulation. The power of choice has never been so palpable. The decision to remain in the shadows or shine brightly is yours. This moment does not suit hesitations. This moment demands firmness. And when you finally decide to stand up, everyone around you will realize that the truth is not just a word, it is an act. And the act of taking a stand can change not only your story, but the destiny of everyone involved. There is no comfortable return here. There is only your determination not to remain silent anymore. This discovery is yours. The reality has already been presented. You observe the reactions. Faces transform, but not in the way you expected. Perplexity mixes with resistance. When doubt becomes fertile, it is difficult to uproot the seed of fear that sprouts in the minds of those around you. You confront, and the atmosphere changes. In an instant, everything can collapse. The silent discussions, the furtive glances, the whispered conversations turn into cries of accusation. The tension-filled environment is like a pressure cooker about to explode, and as you move forward, each step is heavy. The pressure increases, but so does the clarity. What is at stake is more than just your own reputation. It is the essence of truth versus the construction of a distorted narrative. Those who stand in your way are not just the authors of gossip. They are the crowd watching, judging without knowing. They are the judges in a court that doesn't exist. Each of your words is a new chance to change the course. When you decide to speak, you are not just exposing lies. You are challenging the way people see you, and that is terrifying. What comes next? Resistance. No one likes to be confronted with the truth. Each of your words, each statement, is a blow against the status quo, a status quo that allows lies to thrive. As you take a stand, the masks begin to fall. Those who once seemed so secure now hesitate. The control they thought they had over the situation slips away before their eyes. But this uncertainty does not come only from them. It echoes within you. The doubt still persists, whispering questions in your mind. What if I'm wrong? What if this makes things worse? And that's where the battle lies. It's not just external, it's internal. Facing the lie requires courage, but facing your own fears demands a different kind of strength. What do you fear? Rejection, abandonment, loneliness? All these emotional traps are intertwined. They shape your decisions and often make you retreat. Each passing day brings with it a choice: to remain in this sea of insecurity or dive into the murky waters of truth. You realize that the resistance is not just against others, it's also against yourself. By accepting these lies, you limit your ability to act. You become a prisoner of a narrative that was imposed. What you perceive as protection becomes imprisonment. The walls close in and freedom seems distant. This cycle repeats itself, leading you to question whether there is really room for change. But the truth is that even in the shadows, you have the ability to illuminate. The first step is to recognize that the shadow is not your home. When you decide to act, you break those invisible chains. Your breath becomes deeper, your heart races, and when you finally release the words, they reverberate like thunder. I do not accept this. The weight of your statements echoes in a loaded space. Cracks start to appear in the narrative built by others, and reality begins to settle. No matter what others say, you are not here to please. You are not here to be seen as the good guy. Your mission is to clear the fog, expose the truth. Every time you refuse to remain silent, you are planting seeds of change. Every assertive response is a firm beat against the current. People around you react. Some distance themselves, bothered by your boldness. Others, however, begin to move. For those who are on the sidelines, your words are a call, an opportunity to decide which side they are on. You become a catalyst for courage, a spark in a dark scenario. As the truth unfolds, you realize that you are not alone. Maybe you never were. Those who were hesitating begin to join you, stepping out of their own shadows. And this creates an unexpected domino effect. Those who were once spectators now become allies. Together you form a barrier against manipulation, against misinformation. The game has changed. Those who watched you with suspicion now find themselves compelled to reconsider their positions. The silence of untold truths transforms into a clamor for action. And when the truth takes the stage, it cannot be ignored. The echoes of your words mark a turning point. You cannot guarantee the future, but you made it clear that lies will no longer be welcome. Control is no longer one-sided. You have opened the door to dialogue, and with that begun to redefine relationships. Respect, although wounded, has a chance to be restored, but the task is not easy. The struggle continues, and determination must be renewed daily. Each interaction becomes a new opportunity to reaffirm the truth. You are not only confronting gossip, you are challenging the structure that feeds it. This new understanding is a fundamental step. Truth requires maintenance. In a world where misinformation thrives, your voice becomes a powerful instrument. Be careful not to let the noise of others' fallacies overshadow your message. The power of truth is a fire that once lit does not easily extinguish. But remember, you are not alone in this fight. You have become the voice of change, and reality has already been presented. You no longer settle for living in the shadow of rumors. Every step you take, every word you utter, is an act of resistance, an affirmation of your identity. Fear doesn't disappear, but courage becomes a fuel. By dismantling the narrative built by others, you discover a strength within yourself that you didn't know you had. Observe the environment. The reactions around you change. Those who were once ready to believe the worst now hesitate. The look of doubt turns into analysis. A seed has been planted. Now it germinates in the minds of those who know you, who have witnessed your transformation. When you speak, it's as if a mirror reflects your truths. What once seemed fragile now shines with authenticity. You realize that words carry a weight that can be liberating. They are not just empty sounds, they are expressions of a reality seeking space. What was once a solitary battle now transforms into a collective movement. Some begin to question, to worry, to take a stand. The power of the truth is contagious. Those who are on the sidelines join you, and you can feel the crescendo of this new chorus. You become an involuntary leader, not because you sought this position, but because you refuse to remain silent. The change is palpable. However, the echoes of resistance are still present. The voices of the past try to resurface, attempting to weaken your determination. Doubt sometimes arises. What if this is just a phase? What if these new allies are just temporary? These questions resonate, but you are more aware than ever. Truth is not an abstract concept. It lives and breathes through your actions. Every assertive response you give is also an invitation to those who observe your movement. You realize that the fight is not just against gossip, but against the very inertia that feeds it. It is necessary to dismantle the culture of silence that allows lies to thrive. This is ongoing work. The intensity of feelings is undeniable. The pressure increases, but now it is accompanied by a recognition that you control the scenario. Each interaction is an opportunity to reaffirm the truth. You do not have the power to change everyone around you, but you can change how you react to them. Conversations that were once whispers become dialogues. Your circle begins to question the legitimacy of the accusations. Logic prevails where there was once only emotion. You become a beacon of clarity amidst the confusion. But the battle is not just external. You also face your own ghosts. Memories of moments when you hesitated, when you remained silent, come back to haunt you. The echo of the past resounds, but you are no longer the same person. By confronting the fear of rejection, you take a step forward. The sense of vulnerability is intense, but it is also liberating. This freedom comes from allowing yourself to feel and act. Even if the outcome is uncertain, your voice will not be silenced. And so, the Misinformation Fest is transformed into a ritual of renewal. People who were once divided begin to unite. Bonds that seemed weak now strengthen. Truth is contagious. You observe the transformation. Those who once hesitated now raise their voices. A collective power emerges. What was a web of lies begins to unravel, and respect can be restored. It is a process. You know that healing will take time. The marks left by manipulation do not easily disappear, but the belief in a future where truth prevails grows each day. And you are at the forefront of this change. You cannot predict the final outcome. But one thing is certain. The battle for truth is worthy. The fight is not just yours, but of all who believe in authenticity, in transparency, Each of them benefits when the walls come down. What you started as an individual act now transforms into a movement. You not only exposed the truth, but also inspired others to do the same. The power of truth is not just an isolated cry. It is a symphony. You are not fighting shadows. You are illuminating the path. The reality has already been presented, and the story continues to unfold, with you as the protagonist.